sending waves of protest and outcry across the world. London, Moscow, Rio, people everywhere reacting to the fact that
to prepare for a national level terrorist attack and or attack from classified.
However, it is important to note that most of you will not survive the next 24 hours.
The United States is under attack. Terrorists have managed to unleash a virus, the likes of which has no precedent in the history of our world. The White House has issued a statement attributing the attack to the infamous terrorist leader, Mohammed Mustafa, citing the following videotaped message which surfaced on Christmas Eve of last year. Well, tonight, in the normally quiet island town of Port Gamble, they are in the throes of a viral attack, which purportedly turns its victims into, well, what can be best described as zombies.
Comedy Central's Guide to Life. How to cheat death in the event of a zombie attack. 1. Do not venture outside.
Hey, Mom, let's not on my dad and my uncle. They'll look so lame. Please don't leave me.
Listen, while you're here, I highly recommend a visit to the Empire State Building before you or one of your sand monkey cousins takes it down.
I mean, I said 9/11, 2012. هو إلا وهو which are Empire State Building, ولكن Yankee Stadium. That's it. When I said that, I was talking about a Statue of Liberty.
If you look at the evidence, of which there's very little, there is no conclusive proof that this is a terrorist act. Not conclusive? Son, you're about a river short of a glass of water. I, for one, believe that our president has spread our defense resources entirely too thin. We're not getting any words in here edgewise. One at a time, please. That's ignorant. People of Port Gamble, get your guns and your bombs and start exercising your God-given right to exercise your God-given right.
People up and down the country will be running around dressed up as monsters and zombies.
That's near the Olympic Stadium. It could be happening for real.
Health Organization has been tracking the recent outbreak of rabies that began in Taiwan and has now been reported in over 12 countries.
Why do they move like a plague? Why is Israel winning?
How's Israel winning?
They sealed off their entire country days before the undead attacked man.
A new disease. No one's immune. It's like the summer of the shark, except instead of a shark, it's an epidemic. And instead of summer, it's all the time. That is smoke.
Now, I hate to be the guy who derails what everybody else loves.
He loves being that guy.
But, Janice, we do have standards. This can't be a made-up disease. The only moral thing to do is release a deadly virus into the general public.
We do have something we've been holding on to, but it hasn't been tested.
But they could be living dead zombie status MPs.
Good evening. It is with great sadness I inform you that America and China have declared war, and a massive nuclear attack is expected to reach our shores within the hour.
Is to get them to finally stop. Why do they move like a plague? Why is Israel winning?
How's Israel winning?
They sealed off their entire country days before the undead attacked man.
Kind of product. Well, the inside of the game, when we started using neutron bombs, today they figured that biologicals are much cheaper. They're still planning on, the plan is to get a war started in the Middle East, and they're still planning on using a neutron bomb, or one of the bombs that they've got developed on Israel, and that's to begin World War III.
So when we get started, you watch Israel. When I'm telling people, if you get, you see a bomb dropping in Israel, which is scheduled right now, a nuclear bomb, that'll begin World War III, which is planned.
I've placed 3 nuclear bombs in 3 American cities.
Why are zombies so hot this year? It's like the year of vampires and zombies. It's amazing. I know. I don't know. During recessions, I think that zombies do come out.
As I press this button, we move forward to a brave new world order.
The average person touches their face 3 to 5 times every waking minute. In between, we're touching doorknobs, water fountains, and each other.
Dan Brown is about to turn one man's world upside
So you're prepared. People talk about zombies. You know what? Well, you know who a zombie is? Right now, a zombie is you because you don't have a shelter. The people who have shelters are the ones that are calling everybody else a zombie. So if you don't have a shelter, you're basically a zombie. That's considered you're the Walking Dead.
Zombie Britain, the budget.
It's now. Matteo Barini of Florence University believes the brick was placed in her mouth to keep her from feeding after death. Barini says when Europe was in the grips of the Black Death, it was widely believed that the disease was spread by female vampires.
Christ promised resurrection of the dead. And so he had something a little different in mind.
Once the virus has eaten away the dead flesh, then we may come in.
This all started as a flu virus in early 2007. By the summer, it had become an epidemic, and quarantine camps had been set up all over the country. But nothing seemed to work.
I don't think hell exists. I happen to believe in life after death, but I don't think it's got a thing to do with reward and punishment. Religion is always in the control business. And that's something people don't really understand. It's in the guilt-producing control business. And if you have heaven as a place where you're rewarded for your goodness and hell as a place where you're punished for your evil, then you sort of have control of the population. And so they create this fiery place, which has quite literally scared the hell out of a lot of people throughout Christian history. And it's part of a control tactic.
But wait a minute, you're saying that hell, the idea of a place under the earth or somewhere where you're tormented for an eternity, is actually an invention of the church.
I think the church fired its furnaces hotter than anybody else. But I think there's a sense in most religious life of reward and punishment in some form. The church doesn't like for people to grow up, because you can't control grown-ups. That's why we talk about being born again. When you're born again, you're still a child. The people don't need to be born again. They need to grow up. They need to accept their responsibility for themselves and the world.
What do you make of the theology, which is quite prominent these days in America, which is that there is one guaranteed way not to go to hell, and that is to accept Jesus as your personal Savior?
Yeah, I grew up in that tradition. Every church I know claims that we are the true church. And they have some ultimate authority. We have the infallible Pope, we have the inerrant Bible. The idea that the truth of God can be bound in any human system, by any human creed, by any human book, is almost beyond imagination for me. I mean, God is not a Christian. God is not a Jew or a Muslim or a Hindu or a Buddhist. All of those are human systems.
Waste the 70 years we've got. If God is dead, though, and this is all we've got, maybe we'll use it. Maybe we'll become better than you.
But what is Judgment Day? Is it the raising of the dead? The four horsemen of the apocalypse? Whatever shape it takes, only the Third Testament can prevent it happening.
That was the Testament, and that was Judgment Day. The death of God.
We lacked a sophisticated understanding of your world. As a result, the illusions we created from your thoughts were ultimately flawed.
The dead people were dead giveaway.
The first sightings were of UFOs over the Taj Mahal in India. They came in just after midnight. In London this morning, there were reports of men in historic dress firing upon police. Some religious groups are claiming events overnight are a vindication of their teachings.
Do you think it is terrorists?
Terrorists bomb things. This is the truth.
People didn't believe us. Now they should. Judgment Day is finally here.
This is the technology of the gods.
Don't worship me, I'd make a very bad god.
All we can say for sure is that there will be between 1 million and 2 million zombies.
But the dead have been disturbed.
Ready for the apocalypse?
Herd of the zombies